It is Wellness Wednesday once again, and I will be talking about a very difficult topic for myself. Personal experience. I am not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with any professional company. I am simply here sharing my story on my repercussions and my consequences to having stayed with someone that was experiencing mental health illness, up to and including causing me to begin the process of experiencing mental health illness myself. Join me if this is something that you would like to hear about, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. But I will be leaving you with a clip, and that clip will tell you a little bit more about what I experienced, and then I will come back and close it off with some additional information and a closure to where I am at now in my life and where mental health illness stands as far as I'm concerned. We go from dumb to hiding. We go from stupid to enabling. We go from ugly to depressed. From fat to disgusted. From worthless to shame. By doing all of these things, we cover up, we hide, we do not tell anyone. We fully believe that it is our fault, that we did something to cause this. Now I'm going to start the healing process, because there is a healing process to all of this. We go from accepting to refusing. We go from worthlessness to self-worth. We go from believing we are ugly to learning to love ourselves. And eventually, we learn to put our barriers up, and it becomes no more. I will be back, and we will talk a little bit more in detail of what mental health has to do with physical violence, domestic abuse, drug use, all of those things, like I said, on a personal basis. I will be right back. And let me know down below what you think of the clip that you just saw. Those are just some of the examples of things that I experienced myself, and I do not wish on my worst enemy. But I'm going to now go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on that. I did mention I was going to give you all some warning signs, and these I found on an article that I found for New Roads Behavioral Health, and it is a New Roads, or the link is newroadstreatment.org, and I will link that below in the description box. I will also link several numbers and websites that you may reach out for help. And because, like I said, I'm not in a capacity of being here as a professional. I am here simply sharing my story on my consequence to that particular illness. One of the warning signs is long-lasting sadness and irritability. Those, I think, are the main triggers that something is not right. Because if you see someone that was used to laughing and joking and talking to people, all of a sudden are feeling sad and irritable, everything that you say or do irritates them, something is wrong. Take a closer look. Number 2 is extremely high and low moods. And that is also something that I experienced. So you can experience someone laughing and joking one minute, and the next minute they are violent and aggressive and hateful. So it goes from 0 to 100 in no time flat. It is out there. I experienced it. Number 3, excessive fears, worry, or anxiety. That comes right with it, both on the one going through the mental health illnesses, as well as the person on the other end with the consequences of that particular illness. I will elaborate on each of these items in just a little. Number 4 is social withdrawal. When you start just withdrawing, just staying back, keeping away from people because you don't want them to get in your business, because you don't want them to know what you're going through. Then we have dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits. That's number 5. And that is a given. I myself suffer from the eating out of anxiety and pretty much emotional eating. Sleeping habits do change. I'm going to go ahead and elaborate on number 1. Number 1, the lasting sadness and irritability. Like I said, try to educate yourself. Get more information on mental health illnesses before you go in with a judgmental mindset. The more you know about what is going on with the behaviors that you're seeing or experiencing, the more you will be able to address them and possibly come out of them. This is something that I feel, just like addiction and alcoholism, it is a long journey, maybe the journey of your life. It is not something that is completely just boom, you're clear, you're no longer ill. That is not the case, not with mental health illness. It can come and go. You may be able to keep it under control, whether it be you yourself by doing changes to your life or making changes to your life, or by medication. But there are avenues out there, not as many as should be, but there are resources out there, and I will link several resources down below in the description box so that you're able to look through them, and hopefully something can help either yourself if you're going through it, or a loved one that you're experiencing going through this. Number 2, extremely high and low moods. That hit home for me because I was in a domestic abuse situation, and I have talked about it on my channel several times. We'd go from laughing and joking and having fun to one wrong word out of a joke came out, or something that came out on TV, or something that somebody else said, or the simple act of someone smiled at you, you smiled back, and it goes to a totally different level. It goes to physical abuse. I experienced that. It was not a happy journey in my life. It is not something that I am super happy about having made those choices to stay. I did. I paid my price, and I learned from it, I hope. Number 3, excessive fear and worry or anxiety. And that went hand in hand for me, because along with, I don't know, should I smile at somebody? Should I say something? Should I not say something? Should I? And that's all my life was about. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have done this, and maybe I should have done that. Anxiety starts to kick in, and walking on eggshells is how I portrayed it. You walk on eggshells because you never know what kind of mood that person is going to be and what consequence you're going to pay for that particular mood. And number 4, social withdrawal. Social withdrawal, you withdraw from people when you're in a situation to that effect. You withdraw from family because you don't want them to know that you're in a situation that is harmful to you. You don't want them to know that you are putting yourself in danger on a daily basis, whether it be conscious or subconscious. More times than not, it is subconscious, but you don't want them in your business because you don't want the escalation that's going to happen, and you already know that that's going to happen. So you withdraw, you isolate yourself. And number 5 is dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits. I gained a lot of weight during that period because I am a stress eater. I am an emotional eater, so that goes hand in hand with emotions all over the place. And the reason I said this goes on both sides, because the person that is causing you all of those anxieties, all of those walking on eggshell feelings, is going through some kind of mental health issue, whether it be a trauma from childhood or a trauma from adulthood. Whatever the case may be, they are going through it, and you are paying that price because you are the closest person. You are the person that's there, and to them you become that person that is not going to leave, that is going to be there, and they know no matter what they do, you're not going anywhere. And that is the mindset that they have the victim in, that they're not going to be anybody without them. The reason I did the clip is because that is what was said to me many, many times. And although that was said to me, I still didn't get the courage or the energy enough to get out. What did it for me was the day that I started noticing that I myself was becoming vindictive. I myself was becoming angry and hurtful, and everything I despised of his behavior, I took on and started implementing that behavior in myself, and I didn't like it. But it wasn't enough for me. It was still not enough, because I felt I had a right to hurt that person, because for years he had hurt me. I felt I had that right. I did not have that right. No one has the right to treat anyone in a bad way. No one, absolutely no one. I don't care what anybody did to you. You have no right to hurt anyone. You have the choice to walk away. You have the choice to leave. Staying is your choice. The consequences are your choice. You pay for what you're dealing with because you chose to be in that situation. I did. My light bulb, so to speak, came when it was one of those days, one of those horrible days, and I found myself against the wall and sliding down because the force was that strong. While on the ground, he started to approach me, and something inside of me clicked, knowing full well that it could have gone completely the opposite of what I was thinking in my mind. I took a swing. Where the energy came from, because I was already on the ground, where that strength came from, I have no idea, but it did. It was enough to have him back off. It was enough to give him a black eye. And it was enough to let me know that that was the beginning of a very, very dangerous situation. Because now I had completely done every single thing that he had done to me. I had crossed that final line. And I didn't like it. Because I didn't like me. The healing process comes. And that's where I am now. I'm in the healing process. And my tears are not because of the situation that I was in. Because I have long forgiven him. And I have long forgiven that part of my life. That comes with me still struggling to forgive me. That's where the healing starts. The healing is not when you forgive the person that hurt you. The healing starts when you forgive yourself 100%. I still find myself thinking about everything that I did. I still find myself yelling at myself internally because of things and choices that I made at that time. But I'm in a position right now that I am loving myself more and more each day. I am growing from this experience more and more each day. And this experience has helped me be able to make better choices, both for myself and for pretty much everybody that is around me. Healing happens, people. Healing is there. You have to look for it. You have to work for it. And you have to be willing to make drastic changes, because that is what it's going to take. It is going to take drastic changes. And if you're not ready to make those changes, nothing else is going to change. Seek help. If you feel you're in a position that mental health is an issue, depression, anxiety, self-harm, hurting other people, depression, just isolation, sadness, anger, manipulation, all of those things fall very close-knit to mental health issues. Drug addiction, alcoholism, those are part of what comes with the packages for some people, because they don't know how else to cope with it than to try to block it out. You can't block it out. Eventually you'll be sober again, and eventually you're going to get drunk again or high again, because it's not taking away the pain. The pain is going to be there. My saving grace was the day that I accepted the fact that I had pushed God away. The day I accepted God back into my life, the day I accepted fully and completely that I was loved by God, my circumstances changed. Because I'm not in it by myself. Despite the fact that I have a loving, amazing family to support me, I have God. All of us have God. We just have to seek and find and follow through. Because I promise you, there is healing. You just have to find it and work with it. Like I said, it could be through you making changes in your life up to and including medication. But there is help out there. Look for it. Educate yourself so that you may better help others in this situation. You cannot help them if you don't understand it. Research it. Talk to health professionals. Talk to other people and get assistance, not only for yourself, because as a part of dealing with someone with a mental health illness, you are also a victim of that repercussion, of that consequence that they are lashing out. That is what I have on this Wellness Wednesday. Thank you all for joining. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I hope this helps someone out there, and I will see y'all in the next video. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, smile always.